Hey there, guys. It's Mia here. I am so excited. I am so excited about this live today. I'm going to be teaching very simply on how to monetize your expertise, how to monetize your education, your experience, your expertise. How do you do that as a high value product? Well, I'm Mia Redrick, a business consultant. I've coached thousands of women over the last 20 years, and I've shown them that what they know is exceptionally valuable, and what you know is exceptionally valuable also. I'm so excited about doing this live today, and I hope that as a result of what you will hear, it will get you to be courageous for yourself, bold, and to take those bold actions and to show up to create impact with your gifts and your knowledge. Now, I say bold and courageous because the truth of the matter is there are so many, let's say, course creators or people with low valued products undervaluing really your knowledge, your gifts, your training, your background, your experience. You know what I'm talking about, right? And that's probably you right now. Maybe you're trading time for dollars, even that you haven't been able to figure out, how am I going to break the model that I'm most familiar with, the model that has been the safest for me, the way that I've generated income by seeing my clients, over the last couple of years. I'm going to help you with all of those things over the next couple of minutes. And it's my hope that as a result of you hearing what I'm going to share with you, that it will open your mind to a new possibility. When I got started my business over 2 decades ago, I simply made a decision that I wanted to go to work as myself. And for me, what that meant was I wanted to package my background, my gifts, and my talents as a corporate trainer into a product of sorts. Now, I was trying to figure out, very much like you, how am I going to take all of my years of experience and put it into some kind of structure or package or service? And who am I going to sell me to, right? Like, I had no idea. But what I also knew was that what I was doing had a lot of value in my workplace. And maybe that's you, wherever you are in your workplace or in your life, you're that person that everybody taps your shoulder to get great and amazing advice from. People are at work or saying attaboy or attagirl and saying, whatever it is that you're sharing with them, it's high value for them, that you really are making a difference where you are, or your patients, or your clients or parents or other folks are just coming to you always saying, let me pick your brain about this. So can I talk to you for a minute, because what you know is very valuable. And so I don't want you to do the following tonight. Hashtag discount. So somebody write and post hashtag discount. Now here's the thing. Even if you're watching this as a replay, I want you to do the exact same thing. I want to make sure I share this on another platform. So work with me here. But I'm going to talk today about the importance of monetizing your expertise, because I'll tell you, I've seen online so many people who are just so talented. And the one thing that's missing is that they don't know that what they're doing is unique. They don't realize that what they are offering is scarce, and that there are tons of people who will pay you for your knowledge, for your training, for your years of experience, for the results that you can create for them. And if maybe you've just never thought of it that way, hopefully as a result of being here tonight, this will really support you. So remember, the most important thing here is that you're going to write hashtag discount, because we're not doing discounts. And I want you to keep this in mind. And I'm going to use a story throughout the thread tonight, because it's of one of my clients, and it's because she's awesome. But also, I think her story is your story. It was my story, okay? When she came to me, she was already a talented professional, already servicing her clients at a very high level. However, she had models that were not profitable. So the only way that she could earn income was to trade time for dollars, meaning, if a client books an appointment and she spent an hour with them, that client would then pay her whatever it is, whatever that fee was for an hour. So let's say if your fees are $100, $150, $250 an hour, you're trading time for dollars. That's what that means. And that's what she was doing. She came to me specifically because she wanted to work less with clients, right? Like, she wanted to reduce her workload by her physical workload by 20 to 40% of working with clients. Now, what we know can't happen is if you are trading time for dollars, in order for you to generate more income, you have to get more clients. And if this is you, I want you to listen in. So she came to me, she had this idea that she wanted to work physically less with clients. And we only had a couple of choices. One is to look at the model. So the first thing I want you to think about if you want to monetize your expertise is what model are you using to currently generate income? And I'll tell you, there are tons of them. I've helped hundreds of women to be able to take what they do and build products from $2,500 to $25,000. Many of my clients, as a result of the work that we've done together, have done multiple six figures, made multiple millions of dollars. Collectively, my clients have made millions of dollars packaging and leveraging what they know. But the very first thing you have to do is change your model. And it's the thing I see all the time. And maybe it's the thing that you're doing. It was the thing that she was doing. When I looked at what she was doing, there was no way to scale in her business. So she had already been in business for 20 years, already successful, already had a reputation for delivering results. And likely that's your story as well. However, in order for her to generate any more income, she would have to increase her client load. And there are only 24 hours in a day. And how many hours a day do you want to spend working with clients, right? Like at some point, a lot of times you want to work less and you still want to deliver amazing results. But if you don't know how to put the right model together for yourself, then that doesn't happen. So that was the first thing that I looked at in her business specifically. And I'm using her example, but I want you to think about you. I want you to think about the model by which you are earning income currently and servicing your clients. I want you, if you don't have clients already, I want you even thinking about what was the model I was thinking? Maybe you were thinking one-on-one coaching, working with individuals. Maybe you were thinking a lot of private consulting with clients. Maybe you were thinking something like that, like a practice, like what your doctor might be doing, where they're seeing a lot of clients that are coming in and they have to see 35 or 40 people each and every day and spend set amount of time with them. Maybe you were thinking of a model like that, or maybe you're currently working that way. The very first thing we have to do if you want to know how to monetize your expertise is we've got to find the right model for you. And there are many models that function at a very high level that'll allow you to service your clients even more. You know, I've worked from the comfort of my home for the last 2 decades, which I love, right? I love it. And I remember that was like a dream for me because at the time, my children were really young. And when I started my company, and all I really wanted to do was be that mom that could be what I call the cupcake mom, the mom that had the freedom to bring cupcakes on the day. But I wanted to be that mom that also had income to be able to do that. And maybe that's what you're thinking about. Like you're thinking, how can you build a business that would allow you the flexibility to be at home, but how could you replace your income? Or maybe in your current working situation, you're looking for a transition, which so many of my clients are. Transition could be that you're transitioning to retirement and in the next couple of years, or maybe you're already retired and you're looking to create that extra level of income, but you're not looking to work 40 hours a week, right? Like to do that, because that's not the big picture of what freedom looks like for you. You're looking to figure out, how can I take what I know how to do? How can I put it in a structure that will allow me to really create impact like I have professionally, but not kill myself doing it? And if this is you, say, this is me, Mia, you're speaking my language. I know. Or maybe you're like my client that I was just mentioning. You just want to work less and you don't want to sacrifice profitability. You don't want to sacrifice your income, right? As a result of that, you don't want to sacrifice your client base, meaning, work with a different client. You want to figure out a way to be able to service the people that you're servicing, but at a very high level. I will tell you that the money is always in the model, and knowing how to properly package what you do into the right model is the thing that will change everything for you. I'm just going to break this down as I always do. Okay. You may be sitting right now on a gold mine. So likely you already have a product that you've built or you've thought about, or you may have done books, or you may have these digital courses, and you may already have your own presence online, in which case, you're in business, but you can't figure out, like, why am I not successful? Why is this not working? Well, it's because of number two. And the second thing that my client needed, even though she was talented and already in business, and already making money before she met me, but she wasn't able to scale her business, is that she needed to be packaged. And this is something that blows my mind, right? Like, because packaging is something that's so misrepresented today online. So you hear a lot of people say, you need a package, you need a package. And most often people think that a service, offering a service, is a package, but it isn't. All right. So when you know how to package what you do as a high value product, it is a game changer. And let me explain this to you. It is not something that everybody else is doing. I mean, literally, there may be people that call what they have packages, but they may not be packages. It might just be a service offering. There's a difference. So when I define packages, I think about things that I can do for my clients that will allow them to get the primary result that they come to me for the first time and quickly, right? So I am really a master at being able to help my clients take their ideas, take their background, and put it in a structure that's profitable. And I'm really great at helping them then package those things, what should go into that offer, right? How to price those things that are distinct to them based on their background and their gifts and their talents, and not some sweeping price structure that everybody else is using, because you have to really understand why your prices are yours. And if you don't understand that, you'll never be able to sell what you're offering to your ideal clients, because you don't know why the price is the price. That's why you shouldn't copy prices, okay? But I digress, okay? But also, knowing how to position and market yourself is really important. So when you decide, just because you have your creative product or online, or your digital product and you're online, it doesn't mean that you know how to market that product. It doesn't mean you know how to get that product in front of the right person. Not every person out there is meant to be your client. I'm pretty selective about the women that I work with. I work with women who they're smart, they are sharp, they're already accomplished in their own right, and they have a lot of ability to create results for others. They just maybe don't have a system yet for themselves of how to put it together. I work with those women. I help those women who are go-getters. They're action takers. And they've already been that way their entire life. They're proactive people. They're people that say yes and figure it out. And they are investors. And they've already been investors in themselves before they even met me. They, whether it's their education, time, money, and energy and effort, they're the kind of people that do the work. You got to think about, who are your ideal clients? Who are the people that will say yes to you the first time? Now, hear what I just said. That's a whole nugget. The first time. You could spend your time talking to people who they never say yes the first time. And maybe, just maybe, if you've been marketing to people who aren't people who know how to say yes the first time, it's the reason why your cash register isn't ringing. It's the reason why there are no sales, is because you're talking to the wrong demographic. And those individuals are not what I call ready individuals. See, when you want to monetize your expertise, one of the things that's very important is that package. And when you know how to build the package properly and put the right elements in your own package, it speaks to your ideal client. Just does. Okay. And so instead of you chasing the client is looking for you, because you have demonstrated to them that you're the answer to the problem they have. Are we clear? Now, if we are clear, I'd love for you to write, I am clear, Mia, right? I am clear, Mia, because one of the things that I know, whether you're watching this live or the replay, is that, listen, you guys always take notes when you're watching my lives, and it's because I just shoot you straight. The fact of the matter is, if you want to monetize your expertise, the first thing we have to focus on is the model. And we have to be clear that we have the right money model for you. That model needs to be one that's time rich. That needs to be one that is going to give you back your time, but not compromise your income. It's going to be one that's going to allow you to scale. Are we clear? The second thing that you're going to need, which is what I was just sharing, is you're going to need a great package. And you're going to need to know how to and what to put inside of that package that speaks directly to your buyer. So if you already have offerings that no one's buying, it is likely because those buyers do not understand that you are their answer. And so you've been out here trying to find your ideal clients, but they're everywhere, trust me, okay? Your ideal clients, but they're not everyone. So they may be everywhere, but they're not everyone. And that's the problem when we're too broad in our marketing and trying to get in front of buyers. You don't find the right people. For me, I've always just wanted to be in a community and work with women, my own ambition level and above. And I have that. And I've just attracted thousands of women who I call giants. Those are the only women that I love to work with. They're giant in their intellect, their ability, the way they implement, the way they show up for themselves, the way they take action. They're just a different breed of person. And as a result of that, when they get together and they really support one another, amazing things happen. We built a culture of women who say yes and figure it out. You got to think about, for you, the culture that you want for your package. Are we clear? Number three. The third thing you're going to need if you want to monetize your expertise is you're going to need to know how to price what you do. Now, this is like a no-brainer. We all know we need to know what our prices are. But the problem is that most people don't know how to value what it is that they do. They don't actually know the value of what they do for the client. So it's not so much a dollar value in your head that you just make up. You have to really be thinking about, like, what does it cost the client to not have access to your process, your system, your ability to create results? Now, let me break this down, and I'll use myself and then my client as an example that I started with. If I'm working with a client who is selling what they're doing, like this client that I was working with was selling what she was doing for $100, $150 per client. That's what she was doing prior to meeting me. As a result of us working together, she went from that to selling her first package, which I showed her how to put together her package for over $3,000. Okay. So then she was able to sell that package over and over and over again. Now, the fact of the matter is, the value that I provided her is not just packaging what she does. It's helping her to understand and stand in her own value. Hello, anybody out there? Do you following me? Okay. If you don't know your value, right, you get that value. And that is unfortunately the problem that most people are having, is that they don't know their value. They're undervaluing and undercharging what they're doing. And so in this case, me helping that client really understand, like, you can command top fees, right, is a game changer. Like, are you kidding me? Like, can you imagine that you're charging a client $150 and that client would pay you over $3,000? What are we talking about? All right. So when I am positioning myself in front of my audience, and I'm called the Chief Giant, I'm called Chief Giant for a reason, is because I get my clients to be giant about their value, and I show them how to stand in that value, and I hold them accountable to what is possible and how to sell at the highest level. Because if you've been selling for $100, $150, let's be clear that if you have to ask a client for $5,000 or $10,000 or $15,000 for the results that you bring, you might stutter a little bit. Are we clear? Right? And that might just blow your mind for a second thinking about it. Think about yourself for a minute and think about, if you were asking a client to pay you $15,000 for what you do, and you think about what you're charging right now, $97, $250, whatever it is, or you're selling time, and you've never ever walked a client through like you as a high valued offering, you likely need to learn that. That's not something you just make up. So we're talking today about how to monetize your expertise. And we've covered a couple of things so far. Number one, we talked about the money is always in the model. Number two, we've talked about The packages is what really matters, and knowing how to package what you're bringing together and not confusing a package with a service, which is what most people are doing when you see them online, right? And you even have the like so-called experts saying to you, you know, you need to come up with a high value service. No, you need a package, and you need to understand what goes in that package that allows you to be the person that's in demand for your ideal clients. The number three, the third thing that you need to understand once you do that is how to price what you're doing, how to price it, how to value it, how to value the impact that you create for your audience. Like, you know, when I think about someone charging $100 and then I can get that client to go from where they are to charging $3,000 per client and whatever it is, right? The fact of the matter, what's the value of that? In a lifetime, like, it's very valuable, right? So you've got to understand, like, what is it that you bring to your audience that is your unique sweet sauce, right? Your zone of genius that somebody's going to say, wow, that's why I have to work with you. Okay. Are we clear? Are we clear? All right. The fourth thing that you also are going to need to understand how to do is how to market yourself, how to position yourself. Now, positioning to me is so important. I talk about it all the time. Positioning is when you understand, when you market properly, you become the obvious choice. And it's just flat true. You become known for something, right? So ask yourself right now, in what you're doing, what are you known for? Like, what do people know you to do, be able to do? What is the outcome that people can expect from you? And it's like your reputation. So let me break this down. Like, for me, what am I known for? I'm known to help my clients, professional women, smart, sharp women, to package their ideas into high valued structures. And I show them how to do that. I am known for having the ability to take someone that doesn't know what they should be charging and showing those individuals what they, based on their background, what they should be charging step by step for what they're doing. I am known for showing my clients many different ways that they can market, whether it's online or offline, to get in front of their clients. And more importantly, to bring their ideal clients to them instead of them going to the client. Are we kidding? Are you guys following me? Like, are you kidding? I'm not kidding. When I started my business 20 plus years ago, I was a mom and I didn't want to build a business, coaching business as a speaker and go on the road. And so I found unique methods that worked for me to bring all of my clients to me. And it's what I teach my clients today. So they're methods that they can bring their clients directly to them without them having to, fly all over the place to get clients. There's nothing wrong with it if you want to travel. But what if you don't want to? What if you want to transition out of the hustle and grind and you want to work in a different kind of way, right? I showed them how they can do that because that's what I've done in my business. What am I known for? That's what we're talking about with positioning. I am known for showing people who do not know how to sell at all how to sell their own stuff, how to close, and what is the script for them in their business. And it's amazing watching individuals who don't know how to articulate their own value, their own offer, showing them how to sell, go from selling something for $100 or $250. Hey, Don, I haven't seen you in 100 years. To showing them how to go from where they are to being able to sell what they do for high ticket. Donald, what we're talking about today is how to monetize your expertise. And it's something that is so important. And so many of us have never learned how to leverage our intellect and have it work for us. But it's something that I've done for the last 20 years. I think when I met you was probably when I was on your show a long time ago with Sean Spence, I think it was. I was just getting started. And I've always monetized my expertise. I started as a mom coach. Yeah, thank you. That's right. You got to know your value, right? Started as a mom coach, built an amazing coaching practice, wrote a couple of books that did exceptionally well, and took those books and did a number of corporate deals with large brands like Panera Bread or Great Harvest Bread Company, Corner Bakery Cafe. Also had the opportunity to get signed to a couple Emmy-nominated and nationally syndicated television shows as a mom strategist. We're talking today about how to monetize your expertise and how to position yourself as the obvious choice. And one of the things I think is really important is, why do people come to you? What do people come to you for? And what are you known for? What is your reputation as a result of what you do? And that will, when you focus on how to structure your offer around the results that you can bring, you do become the obvious choice. People do start to seek you out because of the transformations that you provide. If you go to my website, and you pull up the testimonial reels, you realize, like, they can't all be lying. There are hundreds of people saying, I went from charging, $100 to 10 grand, or it's our expertise 100% that people are paying us for. And over time, when we all get started, you don't know your value necessarily. You have no idea, but we have a responsibility, right? If we're going to change the lives of others, your life has to change, or you won't be able to sustain the giving. And that's why positioning is so important. That's why packaging what you do the right way is important. That's why pricing to fully value your experience, your expertise, and your education are really important, because if you don't do that, you can't sustain the giving. You have a lot of people who are in business one minute and out of business the next minute, and it's usually connected to they're not selling, or they're not charging, or they're not marketing what they do to the right demographic, because they're packaged incorrectly. All right, I hope that supports somebody out there. Number 4, the fourth thing that I want you to keep in mind is that you also need to know how to close and sell. And if you don't know how to close and sell, look, I was just talking to someone tonight, and the reality is, she is brilliant and amazing, and she knows that. She's probably watching this live right now. And one of the things that I said to her was, listen, if you talk to 10 individuals, you need to be at a minimum closing 30%. If you're closing less than 30% of the people that say they're interested in working with you, there are a couple of things wrong. Number one, you might not know how to get directly in front of your ideal client. Okay. Or number two, you might not know what to say to ideal people who are interested in your services. Pretty much is that. A lot of times, if you don't know what to say to those individuals, it can look a number of different ways. Sometimes it means overselling. Sometimes it means over talking. Sometimes it means trying to prove that you're so, like sometimes when you're new at selling and you're so excited to have the opportunity to be in front of a customer, you say everything. And then that client's like, I don't need your services, because they might even feel like you gave them the thing that they need, right? You need to have a sales process, understand how to have a systematic process to sell, okay? And if you're not selling 30% of the individuals that you're talking to, I promise you, it's usually the audience, okay? And it could even be your offer, the way that it could be the way you're positioned. It's the thing that I help my clients in my year-long coaching program. I help them to get those things right. In my master training called the Giant Experience, I help them to get those things right, because if you don't have the right package and you're not offering what it is that you do exceptionally well for your audience, it means that you become known for nothing. It's like vanilla. But if you know what it is that you do, that's your secret sauce, the thing you do like nobody else, because we're not competing with anyone but ourselves. Let's be clear, right? At the end of the day, when I'm working with a client, now you let all the other folks that want to compete with you. But at the end of the day, I'll compete on the results. How about that? Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll compete on the results. Somebody comes to me, and if you're smart and you're sharp and you are really great at what you do, but you don't have a package, I'm going to get you packaged. I'm going to show you how to package what you're doing. I'm going to show you how to price that thing. I'm going to show you how to market what you do to get your ideal clients in. It's happened over and over again. I'm going to show you how to sell and close. Facts. That's what I do. There's no competition around that. And competition is irrelevant, because you can create the results, the outcome for your people over and over and over again. And so there are lots of folks who, when they're thinking about selling, they say things to me like, Mia, but the market is saturated. The market is not saturated for people who are awesome at what they do. Okay. Did we just drop the mic? Did I hear it? I think I did. Okay. I think I heard the mic drop. Okay. The fact of the matter is, the world is looking for people who are true experts. And a true expert delivers. Okay, a person that is a real expert, they have a history of success and results, and because they're amazing at what they do it. They've done it in the past, and they likely have continued to do that exact thing over and over again in the future, right? So if somebody's great at what they do, I mean, let's take it something real simple. You can dance, and you probably only gotten better throughout the years, right? Does that make sense? Right? For assuming that you have the same physical, your body's fine. Okay. So the fact of the matter is we only get better. Right? We only get better and at creating results at what we do. And you need to know how to showcase those things so that your ideal clients come to you over and over again. Almost think about like, the Hit Factory, or when, you think about like Motown, they only got better. They just got better at writing songs, producing artists, and things like that. That's because when you are in your zone of where you're supposed to be, that's what that looks like. And I hope that there is something that I've said today that has really supported you in thinking, like, it's been expansive for you to like, this is not hard. Okay, you can do this. All right. But what do you need in order for you to step on that other side and monetize your expertise? Because people are making it way too hard. And one of the reasons that they're making it way too hard is because they are chasing hustle and grind. Just saying. Okay. They are chasing hustle and grind. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're running a business, it takes work to run a company. So you're not going to sit home with a teacup and I had my teacup. I had some tea earlier. Did my little promotion for High Point. You're not going to just sit home with a teacup, okay, and do nothing. You have to do the work. However, the money is in the models, and knowing how to build a business based on leverage is a superpower. And if you don't understand that superpower, it's time to understand that. Okay, it's time. Don't allow you to get in your way because you've learned something that doesn't work, or you're watching and focusing on the wrong things. Like sometimes online, folks are more consumers, consumers than producers, right? But people who create significant success are typically producers, right? I know Donnie's like, yep, that's true. They're not just consumers, okay, of content. So I love to produce things, right? I like to produce products, right, that help my demographic. Ask yourself, what are you producing? All right. So if you want to monetize your expertise, you gotta be a producer, and you gotta be less of a consumer. And that's gotta be your mindset. The second thing, you do need to be the kind of person that is like that can say yes and figure it out. And what I mean is, so many parts of entrepreneurship it's not just a straight path. But I think when you hire a coach or mentor, that is one of the ways that you can move faster. But you're still going to have things you've got to figure out. So your mindset is super important, like the way you think. Okay, let me talk about a couple of thoughts of things that people say to me that are just like illogical. So sometimes we'll read applications from folks that are interested in booking calls with us so that we can support them in getting started in packaging their intellect. And they might say things to us like, when are you ready to get started? And they say, in 90 days. Hello? What did we say? Like, imagine I want to change my life, but I don't want to change my life today. I want to change my life in 90 days. Right. Well, I work with people who are ready, right? Because I wrote about this a couple of weeks ago. I said there are people who are now people, and there are people who are later people. Fine. All right. I just work with now people because they're the people that typically get things done right now. Right. Later people typically don't even remember what their now was. All right. So really you have to think about having the mindset of being a proactive person. You see an opportunity, you say yes. When I got started in my business, I didn't know how to coach. I didn't know it was going to be a coaching business. I didn't understand how to structure any of those things. And one of the things that was so amazing for me was being an investor in myself. I've hired tons of coaches and mentors and trainings, and I attended so that I could learn how to build the business that I desired. And for those of you who are listening to me right now, and you're saying, Mia, you're ready to talk to me about investing. look, if you don't like that, just turn it off. Because the fact of the matter is, the way I changed my life, and I can only tell you how to change yours based on how I changed mine and how my clients have changed theirs, is I had to be a high level investor myself. I had to be that person that said yes, and I had to figure it out. I couldn't be this person that's like, could somebody answer this question for me, and I not write a check for that? Are we serious? Like, have you lost your mind? I had to value the valuable, right? The things that were valuable to me, I was willing to invest in them to learn those things because I knew that they were deposits inside of me. And if you are struggling around that, you got to get that right in order for you to be able to monetize. Because how do you actually walk a client through a place you can't go yourself, right? So if you have any limitations or blocks around that, and for those of you who are looking to work with me, for sure, if I want to show you how to sell what you do for 2,500 per client, 5 grand or 10 or 15 or $20,000 per client, you got to be an investor to learn how to do that, right? So you know that you would have to invest in yourself at least $2,500 to learn how to sell something for the rest of your life for $2,500. Me is breaking this down. Yes, I am. Okay. And if you are a professional, you go to work every single day, and that's a struggle for you, that's even more reason for you to fight for yourself and not to make that an excuse, of which I see all the time. You got to have confidence in yourself to show up for yourself, to change yourself, to change your life. We are in the beginning of the year, and it's an opportunity for change, like literally. But it's up to you, right? Like your life can look completely the same in the next 30 days, and it's all going to be based on what decisions you make, what you decide you want to do with your life and what you feel you deserve. And I can tell you for sure that if I asked you and you say, Mia, look, I say, tell me, what do you want to earn over the next year? And let's say you're one of those people that say $1 million, right? Well, do you have $1 million habits, right? Yes. Do you have $1 million habits? Do you have a reading habit? Are you a very disciplined person? Do you get up and you put the work in, right? Are you an investor in yourself? Do you understand how to have a team of people that compound what you do? Do you feel confident about what you do enough to be able to stand in your value, or do we need some work around that? Because it's more than just saying the number. It's like you have to become the person that believes the thing that you really want. And what I see a lot of times with folks that gets in the way of their monetization, they just don't have the habits of mind. And that's why coaching communities are important, because then you get to be in an environment with other people, your own ambition level and above. And there'll be some of those people that are doing things that you could do, but you don't have the esteem to do yet. But when you see them doing it, it'll pull you, right? It'll make you want to do more because of what you're seeing. Is this making sense? Am I shaking your shoulders a little bit? And likely to be in the company of those individuals, you're going to have to make an investment, because let me break this down. Okay. Because you can go to as many free trainings, you can go to as many free challenges as you want to. Okay. But the fact of the matter is, the people you're meeting are the people who value growing themselves and not making an investment. And I want the majority of my association to be with people who value investing in themselves. I want to be around them. Okay. I want to learn from them. Okay. Because they've got a different kind of mindset and a different set of habits. I know that Donald, like, you know what I'm talking about, like the free class. And I think it's important to talk about, because like today, everybody's got the free everything, right? It's the free everything. It's like the free everything. And what people don't realize is, like, while you're wasting your time doing all of these free things, that if I can waste your time, then you're never going to be competition for me. Okay. Oh, did somebody understand that part? Right. If I can waste your time, if I can get you to give me 5 days of your life, 10 days of your life for free, and just have you sit there, you're never going to be my competition. Ever. Okay. Because people who are doing it are out there doing it. They're monetizing. They're producers. They're selling what they do, and they're standing in their own value, and they're growing that way. They're not wasting their time, or they don't understand that what you could accomplish over the course of, like, a week giving somebody an hour a week, let's say 7 hours a week, what you could do, you can have your own package built in that period of time. Right. But folks don't think that way. They think, oh, it's free. Somebody give me something for free. It's like the sample in the mall, the thing you don't really want to need. Right. But it's free. So you take it. Right. Like the guy that's trying to, I don't know if they still do this, but the guys that do like the whole lotion thing, and they come over and they touch everybody's hands. How disgusting, by the way. And they're like, oh no, let me give you a hand massage. Right. And it's like the free lotion thing. And folks are like, oh, that's so great. That guy just touched like 50 hands, like in the last hour. He never washed his, but it is free. Okay. And you did get lotion on your hand, and you could call it a massage, but I think it's just a germy thing, right? Like, you get that gift. So you got to really think about who you are when you start thinking about monetizing your expertise at the highest level. Get your mind right, and definitely be thinking about, valuing yourself. The third thing that I'll say as it relates to that piece is just really being thoughtful around selecting any kind of coach or mentor that you're going to choose. Very important. Okay. And I think here's my best advice for you guys. And obviously, I'm a coach, I'm a mentor, but I'm going to tell you, shoot you straight. If somebody's great at what they do, they have proof, old and new. And you should be able to see that they can create results for others over and over again. And that's important. And it's not something that I'm telling you that I can do. It's something I should be able to show you that I have done, right? You guys agree? That's number one. The other thing you're looking for when you're looking to work with a coach or mentor is you want people who have integrity. And this is so hard. Like, oh my God, like, because of course, it's you come with an open heart, but there are people who may or may not be for you. Okay. And you just got to make sure that the folks that you decide to give your money to are folks that have an ability they have high integrity. And that's important to also consider, right, when you're working with folks, and that you don't get yourself caught up in just the hype of what's going on. Let me just make sure that my live is working. I can see that I'm live, and it looks like it's working, but my screen is stopped. If you guys can hear me, I would like you to, let me check. Okay, so you can hear me, and you can hear me. Okay. All right, awesome. So on my screen, I have stopped. Okay, so maybe somebody post a comment like I hear you, so that I can make sure that it's working on all the platforms, technology. But you need to make sure, if you're looking for a coach, you want to make sure you find someone that has integrity. I think someone that can back up what it is that they do. I think if it's high ticket, that typically there's going to be someone that you can speak with. That's going to be really important. Likely, you're not going to just online see someone selling something for 15 grand and it's good for everyone, because certainly I'm not for everyone. I like to interview my clients and make sure what I'm offering you is the right fit for you, and that I can get you the result that you desire. Does that make sense? Okay. You can hear me, Donald? Okay, good. Thank you so much. Yeah, for a minute, my system just kind of went glitchy. So you want to make sure that that person they see you. Okay. When you're talking about big ticket investments like that person, you need to make sure that it's real. And that what they're offering you is the right fit for you. And that's the thing that I see that's totally messed up. I speak with people all the time that have come to me after they've been bruised and burned by individuals who just said, come one, come all, right? Just because you're here. Not every product is for everyone. Not every service is for everyone. So you got to make sure that it's a fit for you. And that is very important. And I think that great coaches are pretty much very selective in terms of who they work with, because they want to ensure that they get great and amazing results for their people, right? So I hope that that's helped you in some way. I'm Mia Redrick, business and life consultant. Did you guys get value, or did you get value today? I hope you got value from what I shared. I talked very simply about how to monetize your expertise, how to monetize your expertise, really important. And you can do it. And it starts with, one, the money is in the model. True. Two, knowing how to package what you're doing and understand that a service is not a package. Three, understanding how to price and fully value what you do. And four, understanding equally how to position your marketing so that If your package is correct, your ideal clients will come to you because you become known for the results that you create. You'll have a reputation around what you deliver over and over again. It's fact. All right. Thank you, Donald. I appreciate it. And then number 5, knowing how to close and how to sell. Very important. It's very important because if you have the folks that like you, you got to know what to say. Right. And a lot of people don't understand how to do that. So we've got to work on our mindset, right? You got to say yes and figure it out. Likely you're going to need to have a coach or a mentor that's going to help you package what you do at the highest level. And certainly if I could be of support to you, you can always reach out. Just go to miaredrick.com. I'll post a link here and I'll put it also in the comment section for where you're watching. All right. It's been a pleasure having the opportunity to speak with you today. And I'm so excited because I know that many of you you'll hear what I'm saying and you'll take that next step. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Have a great and amazing night.